Okay, stays up. Maxo. Maxo yame. Show me. Hey. Okay. Hey. Oh. Here, let's warm up first. 40 jumping jacks. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, 6, and 7, and 8, 9, 30, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4. All right. Left ankle around. Reverse. Knee. Hip. Right ankle around. Reverse. Knee. Hip. Feet together. Knees around. Reverse. Reverse deep. And other direction. Feet apart. Hips around. Reverse. Shoulders. Reverse. Arms around. Reverse. Crossing. Palms up. With shoulders. And twisting. And your left knee, deep stance. Ankle up, hands up, hip down. Shoulders your knee. Other direction. Both feet flat. Ankle up, hands up, hip down. Shoulders your knee. Split facing front. Forehead to the ground. Back up. Forehead down. On your knees. Knees apart. Put your feet together. Hip to the floor. Hip to the floor. Head up. Push with your arms. Try to push your hip forward. Your knees out. Relax. Okay, keep your feet together. Hip down, head up. Okay, leg straight. Same thing, hip down, head up. Keep your hands and feet where they are, butt back, arms straight, head down. Push forward, keep your body off the floor, head up, hip down. Walk your hands to your toes. Slowly stand up. Slowly stretching your spine straight. Okay. Head up and down. Left to right. Ear to shoulder. And around. Reverse. And shake it out. Turn on, short gi. Okay. So again, tonight we're reviewing Hangetsu, basically going through the kata. So first, my reference points for this one are best karate. So some of the footwork, I've probably mentioned that, as well as the JK Blue Room video. So let's show the video first. There won't be any audio, so don't worry about that. It also prevents a copyright strike. So let me showcase that first, maybe 3 minutes. And then we'll go over the kata, some parts. All right, where is the share button? Yeah. All right, so I'm hit play. And first view will be from front, and the second view from the back and the side. So I believe this is Abe Sensei.
Shaun, I don't see the video. Did you share your screen?
Oh, I did not. So that's probably what's happening. I didn't hit the second button. So let me do that again. Oh, you need to. Okay. Is it sharing now? Okay, good. I use MS Teams at work, so this is different interface. That's the key eye point. First one does not Yuriashi as much. Next two do Yuriashi. Okay, that was the front view. Now it's be side and back view. First ki. No Yoriyashi, Yoriyashi, now Yoriyashi again. So just the quick notes here. Last move. That is not how the first works. So the last move, I'll explain here in a moment. Stop that. So in the video, the last move, after the punch in the video, his right foot stays still and he goes to Nekarashi Dashi. Okay. So in the book, the feet actually move slightly bit. So if you notice, the white feet is where you are initially, and then the black feet is where you end up. So if you notice that he trades the left foot, well, in this case, the right foot with the left foot. So that's a slight variation. I've seen different people do it. The way I look at it, if you're in a tournament and you're in front of the line, go ahead and move back. If you're on the line, go ahead and stay there. So that's a cheap move, depending on where you're going to wind up for the tournament, kind of your Yoriyashi. So that's the small caveat, which I noticed between the video and the book. So first question. There's 3.5 stances in the kata. What's the first one, obviously? Hangetsu Datsu, obviously. Okay. What's the second stance? No, back stance. Okay. So, and what's the third stance that is very transitory? Very last one, yeah, Nekarashi Dashi. Okay, what's the fourth stance? Would be, it'd almost be cheating if I said it was in the kata. It appears 3 times. Kosadachi. So, does Zen Kutsadachi appear anywhere in the kata whatsoever? No. So that means when you're Yoriyashi, not Zen Kutsadachi, Hangetsu Datsu. When you kick, you land in Hangetsu Datsu. No Zen Kutsadachi whatsoever. So that's the one thing you have to be careful of. If you make the shifting moves, you still land in Hangetsu Datsu. No Zen Kutsadachi whatsoever. Okay. So I mean so first point about Hangetsu Datsu, internal tension stance. So this is my front stance, approximately my right heel near the rear of the blue line. My left foot is on the front of the line. So internal stance, unless you have some amazing hips, you're going to bring your feet a little closer. So I'm actually going to bring my front foot, one human foot behind it. So my heel is right here. I'm going to bring my foot closer. So I move from basically the front of this blue line, the back. Okay. So it's obviously slightly smaller. If you can do it in full front stance and shift to Hangetsu Datsu, great. My hips and my knees don't do that. Second point. Clearly, my front toe is not facing this way. In the video, this front toe is facing at a slight angle, which also means my knee is also pointing over that direction. Okay, so at no point in time should your knee, your toe and your knee point in different direction. That is not healthy. So if you have your foot pointed this way forward and you're pulling your knee in, that's not good for your knee. If you have your foot pointing the angle and you're pushing your knee out, that's also not good for your knee. So generally, as a general rule, you want your knee to go over your toes. Anything else generally is not healthy for the knee joint. That just, there's not a whole lot of flexibility between your ankle and the knee, that type of work. So again, knee goes over toe. Do not pull your foot in so you're trying to point your knee that way. That's not healthy either. So the idea is you're squeezing your thighs, okay? Knee still points over the toe. So if I were to shift facing angle, I am not doing this. I'm trying to shrink it. Okay, that's for a smaller stance for Sanchin Dachi. So for Hangetsu Dachi, the idea is you're still pointing your knee over your toe, but you're squeezing your thighs, not your knees. Okay, don't hurt your knees. Okay, so again, The stance is internal tension, but don't squeeze from here and your butt. Okay, so the idea is not to actually break your knee, but to pull the stance together. So again, squeezing your thighs and your buttocks don't hang out. So again, your spine is gonna be straight, not bent. Okay. So a few mechanical points, just for knee health. I would hate to see any of you hurt your knees because you're pulling the stance in the wrong direction. Okay. So that is Hangetsu Dachi again, internal tension. I heard different ratios, but for the most part, I'm going to say closer to probably about, it's going to feel 50-50, but your knee structure is going to be slightly different. So I would say maybe 55 front, 45 back, almost like Budodachi. So it's definitely not leaning toward the back. It's more toward the front. You're still pushing your hips forward. So don't pull your hip backwards. Put your hip toward the front. Okay, so any questions or about where the stance looks like, where the knees are and where the hips are? So let's do a few drills to get the used to it. So let's first off, left foot forward, Zenkutsu Dachi. Now from Zenkutsu Dachi, find a differential, make Hangetsu Dachi. So that way it's obviously a slightly different stance. So let's just do Kazamizuki. Okay, not a whole lot of hip movement. Okay, start with your right hand out, shoot on. Okay, one punch, one technique. Ich, knee, some, shi, go, look, sich, hach, kyu, ju. Okay, Jodan, ich, knee, some, shi, go, look, sich, hach, kyu, ju. Okay. Uchuke, yakusuki. So from the kata, but slightly faster. Ich, knee, some, shi, go, rook, sich, hach, kyu, ju. Okay, switch feet. Okay, again, Zenkutsu Dachi first, then bring it back to Hangetsu Dachi. Okay. Make sure your toes and knees point not forward, but somewhere between 30 to 45 off to your left. Okay. Left hand out, Shokuzuki. Ich, knee, some, shi, go, look, sich, hach, kyu, ju, Jodan. Ich, knee, some, shi, go, look, sich, hach, kyu, ju. Uchuke, yakusuki. Ich, knee, some, shi, go, look, sich, hach, kyu, ju. So remember the entire time, you're pinching the stance in. You don't get to kind of splay yourself out. It's pulling yourself in. So you're gonna feel some tightness in the hips, pulling yourself together. Okay, so let's do some transitions. Now this one's a little bit of an ankle move. So let me show the point of reference here. So as you see in the first moves, white's initial, black secondary. So as you see, the white foot initially is pointed inward. And then when he steps forward, that front foot tilts in the other direction. So unlike Zenkutsu Dachi, where, hey, I have my left foot forward, I'm going to step in, my left foot is still forward. This one, your lead foot, an angle, and then when you step in, rotate off the heel. And now what was my lead foot is pointing the other direction. So this is some heel work. I'm sure on Saturday this was really hard on the grass. Well, yeah, so the idea is once you start transitioning in, you're gonna rotate on the heel. Okay. So if you rotate in the ball, your stance is gonna go side to side, as you traverse in. But for this one, in order to keep going straight in, rotate on the heel, then I can go in, not the ball. If I rotate in the ball, then I'm kind of swiveling around. So heel to foot, not ball. So let's do the techniques Oyozuki. And then I rotate, just going back and forward, just getting used to pivoting off that foot, going in as well as going back. You don't move back as much in the kata, but we want to stay in the same place. So starting Zenkutsu Datsu again, find Hangetsu Datsu. So stepping in, Oyozuki Shodan, stepping back, Age to Shodan. Ready? Ich. Going back, knee. Okay, it's a small stance. Sam. Shi. Go. Roku. Sich. Hachi. Kyu. Ju. Okay. Stepping in, Oyozuki Jodan, stepping back. Let's do Uchoke, because that's in the kata. Okay. Oyozuki Jodan, Uchoke, going, or Ishiro. Ready? Ich. Knee. Ooh. Sam. Shi. Go. Roku. Sich. Hachi. Kyu. Ju. Switch feet. Start Zenkutsu Dachi. Fine. Hangetsu Dachi. Okay. So again, Oyozuki Shudan. Ushiro. Age. Ich. Rotate the ball, heel. Knee. Sam. Shi. Go. Roku. Suchi. Hachi. Kyu. Ju. Oyozuki Jodan. Ushiro. Uchoke. Ich. Knee. Sam. Shi. Go. Roku. Suchi. Hachi. Kyu. Ju. All right. Compared to normal Kukutsudachi, Kibirachi, and Zunkatsudachi, you're going to feel a little bit of a torsion below your knee to your ankle, but not so much that you feel in your knee. So remember, you're going in, and all of a sudden, don't keep going in and come over sideways on your knee. So the idea is when you come in, your hip swivels in line with your knee. Don't do this. You come over your knee, your body's going this way, your knee's going that. That's not healthy. Okay, so make use of that rotation the last minute to force your body in the direction of your knee. And that includes don't go over your knee, go with your knee. So I've hurt my knees enough times to know that I don't want you guys doing that. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. The kata, we'll go up to the first ki and rewind it. So again, space is about a little more than a body length. It starts about 3/4 over and then goes a little bit to the left. So I'm going to be spending most of my time on this side of the cross and about 1, 2, 3, 4 maximum stances forward. So kata does not go any further back from the yoi point. So you can put your back up against the wall and work from there. So let's start from the beginning. Baonatsu Hangetsu. Yoi. One move, one count. Left hand first. Ich. Knee. Sam. Chi. Go. 6、7、8、9、10、HKI. Okay, so one point of caveat, and this took me a few years to find out. So again, 1, 2. Okay, so from here, left hand's gonna come out, and the right hand's gonna bend slightly bit. And once they match, the right hand keeps on going back. So some people do it this way, straight, then back. So in the video, what he does is he's got right arm straight, goes on the Ipan Nakanaki, starts bringing his right hand back, starts bringing the left hand out. And when they're both matching and near bent, then they come back. I have no idea why, but that's what all the videos say. So it's not straight and back. It's kind of bring your right arm back 1/4 of the way and your left hand forward most of the way, and then come back, then go straight again. Okay, so I don't have a really good explanation why it works that way, but it is what the book shows. Okay, so let's go back to up to the first ki. So Sierra, the space for this is about 1 wingspan, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 stances forward. I don't know if you can make that room, or maybe you go sideways, but the kata does not go any further back from the yoi point. So if you have your back against the wall, you won't run into the wall again. So let's go to the first ki again. Okay. Yoi. Okay. Ich. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Roku. Sichi. Hachi. Kyu. Ju. HKI. Sam. Okay, for teaching purposes, stay where you are. I'm gonna move. So left leg forward. Okay. So right hand. Tiger mouth. Ich. Okay. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Okay. Left foot stays where it is. No Uriashi first one. Okay. Uchuke. Ich. Nisam. Now Uriashi. Ni. Shigo. Look. Shichach. Okay. I'm going to move up a little bit so that my hand movements near the end are closer. So again, with these, almost like hand sandan, except hands open. Haito, top hand, shuto, bottom hand. And then the haito turns into tiger mouth like you're grabbing their wrists. So you block the wrists, then you grab their wrist. All right. Question, Dina?
Are the 2 Uriashis the same size on the next 2?
So yeah, after the first one. So the first one, like I said, no Uriashi. Maybe a slight movement, but nothing enough to take your foot off the base. 1, 2. Okay. The 181, this foot clearly comes off. So it moves. I'm gonna put my foot in the X here. Okay. 1, 2. Clearly gets away. The third one, this one I think is slightly bigger. So 1, 2, and then here. Geez. So again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this one, how do I say it? You're not pivoting on the same foot as much, but it just feels like it's bigger. It probably traverses the same distance. So let's back check that with this. So again, okay. So again, the first one, no Yorihashi. Foot stays there. Second one, Okay. Your foot moves basically the gap of one of your foot sizes. So from the rear foot. And the last one, your front foot moves significantly more, like pivoting out, and about the same distance, but your body, your center of mass is going to move a lot more. Well, it's going to feel like it's moving more. You're not shifting 180, you're shifting 90. I've always felt like that one feels bigger, but according to the footwork here, it's about the same gap distance from where your front foot is. But since your back foot now becomes your front foot, it looks huge. So the feeling is yes. Yeah. So I think you're right. The feeling, it feels like the third one feels bigger. Okay, so we move forward a little bit. So again, let's go from the beginning all the way to the Yuriashis, and then we'll go into Kokutsudachi. Okay, so you wait. Okay. It's knee. Some. She. Slightly smaller when your stance is a little bit too big. Yeah. Your front leg should be more vertical than it is pointing diagonal. She. Go. Rook. Shichi. Hachi. Q. Maybe a little too close. Jukiai. Okay, I'm gonna keep going this direction. It's neat. Some sheep. Go. Look. One too many? No, yeah, so sorry. So back right hand, now Yuriashi. Nisan. She. Go look. To your right. Hatch. Kyuju. Okay. Right foot anchors. Okay. Left hand, left foot, big move. It's knee, keep your left hand out. The moment you kick, left hand comes up to your ear. Some, she, go look. Sichi, same move, other side. Hachi, okay. Kick punch, kick block. Two, Ju, ichi. Some, shikia. Some. Okay. Now, you choose to move your right foot. That's what the book says. If you don't choose to move your right foot, that's the blue one video goes. She. Yuko, finish with your palm heels together. Yeah, so are you done? Palm heels together. Yame. For that last move, this is pretty wild in my opinion, but that last move, this frame right here, he's actually blocking with those hands together. Pretty risky in my opinion, but apparently he can do that. So hands together, the idea is not your butt back, but you need to be committed to the technique. So don't leave your weight behind you and block like this. From here, sit on it. So pretty risky move, yeah, my opinion. So yeah, this one is a little bit of a wrist flexibility. You need to pull your hands apart as far as you can. Okay. Okay. Any questions about the technique so far? Yes, Yuko.
The timing of pulling the arm. So is it at the same time as kick or a bit after the kick?
Yeah, it's identical with the kick. So this frame right here, his hand's still out, he's in Kosudachi. The moment he kicks, the hand comes to your ear. So it's so from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, it is a technique for some people call it a block. I don't know. This hand comes back just as the leg comes out. So yeah, it comes all the way to your ear, And then the moment you land, Geramburai, Yakuzuki, Agute, all in Hangetsu Dachi. So don't wag the knee in any way. Okay, so let's go through the whole thing, front to back, and then we'll do the whole thing again, except facing a different way from the camera, so you have a different view when you turn around. Okay, so you all right? Okay, same rhythm, same count, whole thing, same rhythm. Ready? It's ni, sam, shi, go, boku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju, ichiki, sam, ichi, ni, sam, shi, go, boku, shichi, hachi, kyuju, ich, ni, sam, shi, go, boku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju, ichi, ni, sam, shi, go, boku, shichi, tenki, shichi, hachi, lower, Chris, lower, bring your hips to the ground, ju, come here. All right. Okay. So I was pedantically breaking this up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rhythm's closer to this. The last 3 are pretty quick. If I don't count that way initially, everyone kind of rushes and does an Uriken gate on right away. So again, rhythm is pretty quick succession. Yeah, what's up, Tina?
When you bring the leg up,
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. You're being blocked by a bunch of stuff. I can't see you anymore.
oh,
Okay, go ahead.
when you bring the arm and the leg up and around,
Mhm.
how much coverage do you take with the arm, and how high should I be bringing my leg up?
So this one, I like this question because it's like, what would you do in a tournament and what you do in real life? So I've seen some people do this where they do this huge flourish. Go. They go, almost bring their body way past their stance, and then do this huge opening move. That looks great in a tournament. But so here's how I would do it. 1, my elbow and my knee are generally gonna be above each other on the technique. So kind of a marionette technique where you're not doing this thing where you're, and then kind of sinking out. So 1, let's keep the weight of the body, these 2 joints locked up. 2, okay, so back here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So here's the way I look at it. I don't want this to go so far that I have to really shift my weight forward. So I'm actually trying to keep this back foot, the Hangetsu Dachi, almost like it's prep for back stance. So I'm not really shifting this knee out a whole lot. That's my weight distribution because I don't want to do this and try to refine a balance point if I let my knee shift over too much. So that balance point limits this to almost bring my knee maybe past this, not much further. Like I'm not actually straightening my hip out. If I do that, then I shift my weight forward, then I have to shift my weight back. So my rule is, hey, if I were to do this against an opponent that way, I don't want to go away and then come back. I'm not gaining any elastic ability. So from here, whoa, see too much. My left knee generally stayed the same angle. my left side, my hip, although rotated, keep this as a line. Generally stayed at this point. My left hip does not really go over this blue line, but come over and come back. That looks great in tournaments. Big flourishing moves. I'm not going to teach you that way. It may get you an extra point with some judges, but not me. So yeah, so to answer your question, bring your knee and your arm as far as your balance on your rear leg will allow you. So that's the way I look at it. And your rear leg being the front of your Hangetsu dachi, which turns into kokotsu dachi. Okay. Good questions. Any other questions about the techniques? Okay, so now let's do it the other way. So start with your back toward the camera. So we'll see each other as you're coming up with the haitos and shutos. Just make sure you have enough room to go 4 stances forward from you looking right now. Okay, so yoi. Okay. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Roku. Shichi. Hachi. Hands up, Q. Hands down, Ju. It's Kia. Knee. Right hand. Thump. She. Go. Roku. Switch. Hachi. Ju. Ichi. Sam. Shigo. Roku. Shichi. Hachi. Juju. Ichi. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go walk shi. Hachi. Kikiai. Ki. Ichi. Name. No. Okay. Okay. Whole thing, 1 count. So whichever way you're facing, I'm going to face sideways, so you see a slightly different angle from me. So whichever angle you want to go. Okay. Whole thing, 1 count. Okay. Bow and out. Hangetsu. Yo. Okay. Same speed. Okay. It's very slow kata. Savor the techniques. Hajime. Oh. Come here when you're done. Sit on it. Yeah, Chris. Remember, so this one, feel like you're sitting on your stance. So hip height, same as Zenkutsu Dachi, except in a really bent leg. Same as Kokutsu Dachi, except in a bent leg. So it's a really low technique. Okay. All right. So let's do it a slightly faster cadence now, closer to kata cadence. So obviously the beginning is still very slow. But when you throw more than 2 techniques in a row, that's when it speeds up a little more. Okay. So with my count again. Okay. Counting out Hangetsu. Yo. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、push, push, push, push. 9、10、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、1、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、9、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、90、1、10、ダメ、9. Okay, so really slow, ringing out the techniques, and then real quick every now and then. So really schizophrenic in terms of speeds. There's nothing really in between. It's either quick cadence or slow ringing out the techniques. So some people say this kata teaches you breathing. I swear every time I breathe, it takes either too long or I breathe in the wrong way in and out. I get it mixed up because every time I do the count, I end up inhaling for the kita. I can't figure that out. So, okay, let's do the whole kata again. So again, same rhythm as that, your own count. So try to keep the cadence. You don't have to go the same speed, but try to keep the relative fast and slow parts. Okay, so try to figure out, is it a slow technique or is it an insanely fast technique? So one or the other. In the beginning, balance, Hangetsu. Yo. Hajime. Zoom. Boom. Come here. All right. Okay. Now, just to make sure we remember how bad we are, let's watch the video one last time. So let me start it from the beginning. Second. So stop. Okay, so front view. Okay. Interesting enough, he doesn't really rotate his hips a whole lot on the first few techniques. You look at like his hip, it's a very minimal, maybe 15-degree rotation. So right there, his hips kind of lock. You don't see the belt move a whole lot. I don't know how he does that. I've always rotated my hips at least 30 degrees. His belt pretty much locks right there, even on Yakuzugi. That's incredible. He must be in a really deep stance. Okay. Watch his right hand. Bends slightly, then keeps rolling back. Push. He's definitely not moving at full speed, so don't take that for slowness. Urashi feels like a big Urashi. See, his hips don't even rotate in those techniques. Watch the back of his hip. Almost stays the same on 3 punches. He must have a really deep stance. There it rotates. So when there's a side view here, the side view will be the pip. You can really see how much your shoulders are or are not moving. So right there, tiny box up there. Watch how much your shoulders really rotate, because you can't really use the hips, but you can tell from shoulders, minor rotation. Almost like the shoulders in the same plane. Watch his hands go up high one. His shoulders are almost straight right here. So almost have his elbows behind him, really pinching your back. Okay, and watch how little his hips move on the 3 techniques. I can't tell if that's his style or that's how it should be. All right. Okay, so as you see, clearly a very sure kata, very strong, very rooted stance. The fact that he's really relying on just cranking off a static hip, that shows you. But with that said, be careful with your knees on this one. Make sure your knees are pointed in a helpful direction. You're not working, like, your knees operate like this. Don't torque your knee. That's bad. Knees aren't designed for that. Okay. All right, so that ends class. Seiza. Maxo. Maxo Yama. Dojo-kun. Seek perfection of character. Be faithful. Endeavor. Respect others. Refrain from violent behavior. Shaun. Hey. Akane.